What is up, New Beginnings Church? Happy Friday morning to you, and welcome to this devotional series. We're walking through the book of Proverbs, and it is so good. But since it is July 8th, we will be in Proverbs chapter 8. And if you haven't noticed this, if you're reading the early portions of Proverbs, just remember this. There's a lot of poetry here mixed into the first few chapters. Now, after chapter 8, it flips into what you would traditionally think of as just like these little nuggets of gold, these little juicy tidbits of wisdom and insight and practical application. Like all that stuff is about to come. But if you read all of chapter 8, it is just one big, giant, beautiful poem. But I thought I would lean in right here. There's some really cool verses that I leaned into and kind of looked up and thought about each thing. It says this. Again, this is a poem where they personify wisdom, right? I think in literary it's anthropomorphism. It's where you take something that's abstract and you give it human-like features, right? So they start talking about wisdom as if it's a person with, hands and feet and lips, and it does this, it does that, and it. So anyway, it's again beautiful poetry. But lean in right here to verse number 14. Speaking of wisdom. Wisdom is speaking, so wisdom is a person, right? Counsel and judgment are mine. I have insight, I have power. By me, kings reign and rulers issue decrees that are just. By me, princes govern and nobles, all who rule on earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. With me are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. I leaned in here because I was thinking about just the state of sometimes leadership, right? Whether that's political leadership or church leadership or whatever it is. Leadership is a constant in the world, right? I think that's an old John Maxwell quote. Is that everything rises and falls on leadership, that there's always influence being taken place. People are in charge making decisions. Well, as a leader, how do you make those decisions? And wisdom is crying out saying, you don't make decisions until you come and consult me first. And so the way that we lead, the way that we govern, the way that we do, the way that we influence the world around us is through wisdom. And don't check yourself out right here, because you do lead. You do manage. You are in charge of things, right? So again, I know at the highest level, we're thinking about people that are in charge of government roles and companies and Fortune 500, but keep coming down. No, you manage and govern you, right? You lead you. The highest level of leadership, or the first step of leadership, is self-leadership. I lead me. I've got to manage and lead my mind and thoughts, my emotions and how I feel. I need to manage and lead my time, my money, my talent, and then it doesn't include no, I need to lead in my home and lead my children, and I need to lead in my church. And so where all these wherever we have a realm of influence, you need leadership, and to have great leadership, you need wisdom. Now there's 4 things that he mentions here. Let me read again. Then he goes, counsel and sound judgment are mine. I have insight. I have power. 4 things wisdom is really kind of going to force you to stretch yourself and force you to add to your life. The first one is counsel. And when he refers to counsel, just so you know, this is one of the most repeated themes in the entire book of Proverbs. Surround yourself with good, wise people. Surround yourself with good, wise people. You should never make any type of legitimate decision without consulting somebody that you believe is a godly, wise person who can give you good counsel and move you into the right direction. Sound judgment is something that you're going to have to cultivate, right? For you to harness wisdom, you got to cultivate sound judgment. Now, we all make judgments, right? But wisdom is saying, no, you have to make a sound judgment. Here's the difference. We make judgments all the time, but our judgments have bias in them, whether it's our cultural bias or our personality bias or how we were raised, how we were influenced. And let's just be honest. Let's think about it like this. Sometimes we get emotionally caught up in things, and then based on our emotions, we make decisions. That's not sound judgment. Sound judgment means I remove as many of the biases, and I separate myself from much of the emotional noise, at least. And I say, God, if I could just cut through all the fog and cut through all the emotion, what would I do then? That's sound judgment. The next one is insight. It's also the word understanding. And again, for me to grow in understanding, I've got to be a learner. I need to be reading and studying and listening and growing and again, just adding knowledge and understanding to my life. And then the last one, he goes, with me is power. And it's really more like the idea of might or strength. And so again, wisdom is wanting to get these four things operating and cultivating in your life so that you lead well. Can I get an amen to that? Let us all strive as Christians to be great leaders in our home, on our job sites, wherever we have an opportunity. Let us lead well by leading with wisdom. Church, I love you so much. God bless you guys. Take care, and I will see you this weekend.